what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dead on Dave, back once again. And I have a good friend with me today. You'll see him. Look at his beautiful, weird blindfold that he has on. It's the one, the only, Ed Crowley. What's going on, my friend?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I want to say I really enjoyed your entrance music video that you did.
Oh, thank you.
It was really good. It sparked a lot of debate on there, so I quite like that.
Yeah, it did. A lot of people, when pressed, couldn't really take any of my top fives out. You know, it's like, I thought about it, and like, it's hard to take any of them out. So maybe the Brute.
It wasn't for me.
No, well, nothing I say ever is. You're the kookiest guy I know. It's completely crazy. But
I'm surprised not. I think Goldust's theme is one of the best of all fucking time, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a great theme, but
it's a fucking great theme.
I'm not saying it's not. I love that theme, but no, it's not in there with Edge or Triple H or Shawn Michaels or. I wouldn't put it above Stone Cold and The Rock, and they didn't make my fucking list. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think if I was going to make a list like that, I'd not include all the obvious ones, and I'd go for ones that, that is a good tune. I never thought about that before. That would be my top five, rather than go for a Bret Hart and then a Shawn Michaels and then all the obvious Hulk Hogan.
See, I didn't think like that. I just thought about the five that I liked the most. I was being authentic, Authentic. I wasn't trying to be, what is it? Poncy or what's another good one? Hipsterish, because that's something a hipster would do. I'm going to pick the songs that nobody's heard of because they're amazing. You hipster son of a bitch. Come on.
It's like, I like the fact that we did agree on the fact that there are too many generic metals as well.
Yes, far too many.
It's just every person comes down to the fucking aisle with that. And am I supposed to be validated after hearing that 20 times?
And it goes far beyond wrestling, because you and I talked about this as well. Cartoon themes, television show themes from the 80s and 90s were amazing.
They don't make them like that no more.
And they don't do it. But I'm wondering if it's just a product of getting old, because the older you get, we see this in every generation. Oh, you don't know how it was in the 60s, man. The 60s were incredible. And the 70s. You don't understand how great it was growing up in the 70s, And then me, product of the 80s and 90s, I'm like, God, they just don't make it like that anymore. And kids are going to be like, fucking Hannah Montana, you don't understand, kids. Hannah Montana, wow.
But I think both views are quite right. I think it has degraded over time.
Sure.
And I do think the same with the age gap as well. I think both are quite true.
Well, we change. That's the one thing that's a constant. We change the older we get. I appreciate things I didn't appreciate when I was a kid. The Beatles and Jerry Seinfeld and mayonnaise.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. I don't know why. The older I've gotten, I've appreciated those things more. Those three things more.
That's one hell of a top three.
Well, what can I say? I'm a complex man.
Yeah, obviously.
But you are too, and you're here because we have a great subject today, and because it is the Royal Rumble week, I think we should probably get to the point at some point. Because it is the week of the Royal Rumble, and it is such a special event. It's actually my favorite event of the year. I like it more than WrestleMania. I'm very excited for what's to come, but I felt today would be a good day to take a look back at some of yours and my favorite moments and some of my favorite winners and losers and, just some of these amazing things. The top five this week will be top five surprise entrants into the Royal Rumble, and that will be on Saturday, so that'll be a lot of fun. Sometime this week, I will do a full prediction show. I have no idea with who. It might be with Cronin. It might be with Crowley. It might be with Jeff Huffman. Maybe all of them. Who the fuck knows? But there will be a lot of good stuff happening this week. If you love the Rumble, this is the channel for you. Make sure that you got this thing clicked in all week. And let me know what you guys think. And like I said in the other video that's probably already up by now, send me, tweet me, tout me, whatever. Email me, Skype me your favorite moments. You can call in. I'll give you 2 minutes. You can talk to me. We can do quick little vignettes talking about your favorite moments in the Royal Rumble. I have no problems doing that. I'll work with you as long as you work with me on time. Okay? It sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Good plan.
But Crowley, my man, you're here. And you're here because you have love for the Royal Rumble just like I do. So let's start with what are some of your favorite moments from the Royal Rumble, man? What stood out for you?
Well, I mean, I just want to go back to what you just said, and I just want to reiterate that the Royal Rumble is the most special main pay-per-view the WWE have ever come up with,
Yes.
in my opinion. It is like no other match. I mean, today, in preparation for this video with Dave, I've actually been watching the very first and the second Royal Rumble just to get a sense of history of this event. And yes, we will get into that, Dave. Okay. Don't get me wrong, like, this is how you want to look at the first Royal Rumble, or the first of anything. The first one is merely the skeleton outline of which future Royal Rumbles or future anything, they hang the meat on it afterwards. So you are not good if you look at the 2014 Royal Rumble and then look at the 1988, you're not going to see the same thing, no. But essentially you're going to see the same structure, although somewhat different, and it's been built on over the years. But in order to know where you're going in life, I think it's good to know where you've been.
Absolutely.
So I decided,
and certainly where you began. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So I decided to look at the first Rumble, which I've never actually watched before. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff.
20-man over-the-top battle royal, nothing like its time before it. It was just a crazy event. We'll talk about it a little bit right now. It was a very revolutionary event. It was something that, I mean, there's been battle royals, but this was something that people were not really expecting. They didn't know what they were going to get out of it, and it was magic. I mean, the match sucked. I'm going to say it just like this. The match was bad. The winner made no difference. It did nothing for Hacksaw's career. Duggan got virtually nothing for it, and really it just stands as a testament to what the Royal became, regardless, not really of what it was. It is almost by everybody is ranked the worst Royal Rumble of all time. And I agree with that. I think it is the worst of them all, but it's important for history's sake, for posterity's sake.
I mean, that's why I reviewed it. That's why I made copious amounts of notes on this Rumble. I'm going to start
charging motherfuckers for that, okay?
yeah. Copyright that bitch.
I'm telling you. Nobody else uses copious. I think I could probably get away with fucking copyrighting it. Nobody uses it.
Go for it. When I've got the money, Dave, I'm getting your fucking t-shirts, that's for sure. I really am. I can't wait to get that copious t-shirt. It looks fucking beautiful.
It's pretty cool.
It looks cool. Everyone get buying it. That is fucking awesome.
Isaac Rojas, you are the man. Hopefully mine should be here soon. I can't wait.
Isaac Rojas sounds like one of those like forgotten Rumble entries.
Really? I know.
Do you know what I mean? Is that someone I expected was in the WWF for like 3 months because his storyline didn't work out with The Undertaker or something?
I have a quick sidebar, real quick, and I just kind of want to throw it out there before I forget it. I want to talk about my favorite elimination of all time. I don't know if you have put any thought into that, your favorite elimination. Single elimination, I have one.
Okay, well, can we go into that bit? Because I really want to get into this. I just want to talk very briefly about the 88.
Okay, beginning. I'm sorry. I thought we were
done.
Okay? I thought we were done with the 88 Rumble. I apologize.
No, God, not even started.
All right, go ahead. Then I'll get into what I want to get into.
No, I think one of the first really good things about watching the first Rumble was to find out who was the first entrant ever and who drew number one in the very first Royal Rumble. And I didn't know this. So I was looking forwards. I didn't wiki this or Google it. And I couldn't believe it. My favourite wrestler of all time, Bret the fucking Hitman Hart, was the first guy to ever draw number one in the very first Royal Rumble.
Yes, he was.
I thought that was pretty fucking cool.
It was cool.
And actually, he did a pretty good performance in the match. Lasted really long.
But he didn't win.
Well.
The Hitman.
No, he didn't win. But he was very much a tag team guy at the time. And I think it was very important. And this was actually a pattern that you would see in future Rumbles afterwards, that towards in the beginning starts of Royal Rumbles, it's very tag team orientated. They tend to shove a lot of the tag teams out there.
That's very true.
So you see the Hart Foundation and you see Axe and Smash. I mean, the Axe started off the 89 Rumble, which was very like, whoa, no way, because I've never seen that before. And even going back, I can imagine, had I watched as a kid, I would have been like, whoa, no way, 2 guys from a tag team are starting this. Oh, shit. Like, what the fuck? And those guys fucking go for it.
They do.
They start beating the shit out of each other. It's brilliant.
The 89 Rumble is better than the 88 Rumble, but that's not saying much.
No. But, again, it was finding its feet. It was a very pioneering kind of pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. So
it was. And if you want to talk about a winner that's irrelevant, I mean, if you want to get more irrelevant than friggin' Hacksaw, it's big fucking John Studd. You know,
True, yeah, because like, what did these guys even go on to do? You know, it's just Hacksaw was always a joke. I've always put him in the same category as the fucking Bushwhackers, quite frankly, in terms of And what? What did you do?
What was
Nothing.
the point? Yeah.
But when you at the time though, I mean, I was listening to those crowds when those guys going down there. He was getting a big pop. Duggan, the crowd fucking loved this great.
When Duggan still comes out when he does his independent wrestling, people still love him. Absolutely love him. I got to give a little bit of credit to the '89 winner though, because had Stud not had like a ridiculous amount of health problems, he could have been a hell of a star. And he was a hell of a star in his time, but he could have been even bigger.
He was a big dude, but Hogan by that point was just they knew where they were going.
Yeah, we knew where it was going,
So I just want to give a big shout out to Butch Reed, who was the first guy eliminated out of the Rumble by the hands of. Do you know, Dave, who eliminated Butch Reed?
Who eliminated Butch Reed? Go ahead, tell me.
It was Jake the Snake Roberts.
Really?
So he was the first guy to ever eliminate anyone in a Royal Rumble. See, this is why I wanted to watch the first one, because there's loads of really interesting facts like that.
Well, it's a lot of just of the first, yeah.
But the crowd go nuts for this event, though. There's a really good beginning of when Howard Finkel was in the ring, and he was sort of like on the mic, and he was sort of saying what the rules were of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then it's a great bit where the camera sort of pans out, and it shows this kid in the audience that's going basically like...
like freaking out, yeah.
No, he's just sort of like, okay, I just want to
trying to figure it out.
Rules.
Yeah.
This is the first event that happens, and this kid's like, right, I want to know when to cheer then, what are the fucking rules? And he was really intently listening to what he was saying. It was great. Yeah. But yeah, I love this event so much, and I thought you could see the crowd were really, really into this as well.
Yeah.
So it was just a really good event. I made so many notes on it, but I won't go into all of it.
Go ahead, hit a couple of the notes.
Well, okay, there was a great little spot in the match when both the Hart Foundation were in at this time. I think this was before even number 5 came in or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So you have Jake the Snake Roberts in, Anvil and Brett, and Butch Reed in at the time. And there's a great little spot where honestly, like 6 times during this match, the crowd are chanting for Jake Roberts going, DDT, DDT, because they fucking love chanting that.
Jake was quite over. I mean, he really
Very
was.
over. Even as a heel, the guy was, people either fucking hated the guy or they loved him to death.
In early Rumbles, Jake really held a special place, especially things that he did later on that we'll talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very special thing, and I love Jake Roberts. He's one of my favorites of all time. Does not get the credit he deserved. No. I probably should have mentioned him in most underrated wrestler of all time.
Well, I think that's the whole point, because sometimes they just don't come to mind. That's why they're underrated.
They're underrated.
We should do a video on that sometime, I think.
Yeah, Jake's amazing.
Yeah, so there was a spot where he's about to. He's got Brett and he's in the headlock about to do the DDT, and the crowd's calling for it. And then Anvil comes out of nowhere and just fucking clotheslines the shit out of Jake Roberts. And he just fucking knocks him out cold on the floor. Brilliant spot, and it just reminded me of just how so many fucking good characters and wrestlers back then. Yeah. I mean, if kids now were to watch that Rumble, they wouldn't have a fucking clue who 25 of these guys, 19 of these guys were.
Yeah.
You got people like Bad News Brown, Harley Race as well. It just, even at this point, looked really fucking out of shape, quite frankly.
Yeah, he was. There's no question.
And Ventura was doing pretty good commentary during this match, and even cleverly pointed out that because up to this point, I think for the first 20 minutes, you'd seen nothing but face versus heel, heel versus face of people in the ring. Then all of a sudden, I think it was King Harley Race decided to sort of pounce on Bazookoff.
Uh-huh.
And then Ventura points out, like, whoa, they're both bad guys. Why are they hitting each other? And it was
kind of cool little nuances.
It was, yeah. This was the shit I was looking for when I was reviewing it, basically.
It is quite interesting. I'm going to move on to the '89 Rumble real quick.
Cool, let's do that then. I'll get to my notes on the '89. There we go.
It's a much more significant Rumble, and you know what? Sure. I'm going to kind of retract my statement that I made that it was better than the '88 Rumble, but not by much. It was significantly better than the '88 Rumble. In fact, it's right in the middle of the pack when I think of where it ranks in history. Is a pretty damn good Rumble. It's the first one that went 30-man. It may have had the most significant moment of like a 2-year run. When Hogan eliminated Savage from the Royal Rumble in this event, it is the end, essentially the beginning of the end of the Mega Powers.
Yeah,
it really did.
Definitely, it was. Yeah, I mean, although they kind of made up, you knew a seed was there.
The
basically.
Seed was planted.
Yeah,
and eventually they smoked that seed.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember, like, when I switched it on and pressed play for this 89 Rumble, the most fucking, I just laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
The first thing that Vince says on the announce thing is they're showing all the pictures of the wrestlers, and this is who to expect in the thing, and it just starts off with Vince going, Hulk Hogan! And it's just like, oh, fucking Vince.
Hogan!
It was Hulk Hogan. That's what he was saying. It just made me laugh. Basically, but this was the first time I think it featured the classic Royal Rumble banner logo on this one as well. I think I did notice that because I didn't notice that on the '88 one.
Yeah.
Some of the pre-match promos of where the guys were drawing numbers out of the.
Great, I love
these. Were fucking brilliant. I've written them down one by one of how funny they were.
Oh my god!
The first one I saw was DiBiase, basically, and he looks at his number.
His entry. He bought the number 30 spot from Slick.
Yeah.
People forget that. DiBiase actually purchased that spot. And that was something that was just like, people were like, what? Seriously? And it almost worked for him.
Exactly, yeah, because he just looked at his number and was kind of like, whoa, this isn't right. And then he calls Slick over, who just happens to be standing there, obviously. And just bribes that. Then you got the Bushwhackers, and this was fucking brilliant. I'll go over this now, right? They draw their numbers. I shit you not, kids. This is how crazy the WWF was. Okay, Bushwhackers come in. Luke and Butch both draw their numbers, and then Luke goes, "I've got a bloody good one, mate." And then Butch goes, "Oh, mine's a good one too, Luke. Do you want to swap, mate?" And they swap fucking numbers. It's fucking nuts. These guys was like, oh my god, it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was just like, and this was it. One of them was like number 10, one of them was like 19.
Oh,
and it was just like, they're fucking idiots, both of them. But that's how they marketed them. I can see kind of why they were so over with crowd, because anytime you watch old school WWF video or what have you, anytime the fucking
people lost their fucking minds.
And they fucking lost their minds. You're right, and they just fucking go crazy. And I'm here now watching.
They like getting their heads licked. Fans let them lick their heads.
I know. Yeah, I've never. If American crowds loved them this much, what the fuck was it like when they went over to Australia and New Zealand?
God.
It must have been fucking immense. They must have got like Hogan kind of
my god
overness over there, because they were really big, and I still don't quite understand why, to be honest with you. I think it's because they were kind of silly. Otherwise, it was a fucking brilliantly funny promo.
Yeah.
The other one was Honky Tonk drew his number and just went, "Ah, damn it," and threw it on the floor.
The Honky Tonk Man. Well, the Honky Tonk Man, he's gonna win the Royal Rumble. Is what you gonna do? You dig?
Then there was a really good one with Bad News Brown, which may give me an idea for something as well. He pulled out his number and started laughing, and then went, "It's good news for bad news." And I just thought, God, wouldn't it be good if they did that with Bad News Barrett now for this year's Rumble, just having, draw out his number and stuff like that. And they just made me think, wouldn't it be good if they just brought this kind of fun thing back to the Rumble again?
It would be cool. They still do some vignettes like that, but it's not the same thing like they used to. It's nowhere near the same. Of
course not. I mean, they could make it too pantomime, otherwise people could complain. But just bring in a bit more of these elements back in, especially after last year's Rumble. It needs a bit more, because I think people are taking it. I don't want to say way too seriously, because I take it seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
No, I do, because last year's
everyone
Rumble...
calm the fuck down and stop booing people.
I mean, yeah, the last year's Rumble, they got booed. I mean, the entire fucking... The company was basically booed out of the building.
Yeah.
And the Rumble was not bad. Let's fucking talk about that for a second. Last year's Rumble was not a bad Rumble.
People are just pissed.
People are just pissed off because Daniel Bryan wasn't in it. Well, fucking get over yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it was disappointing. I was one of the very disappointed ones when watching it. But it's kind of, it all worked out for the best anyway. You won the belts at WrestleMania. So, but it was a really good Rumble. It's actually funny now when I look back and I saw Punk coming down the ring of just how not well he looked. That was quite funny.
I know.
But I was very disappointed with his his elimination from Kane as well. Very Hulk Hogan-esque fucking elimination. Do you know what I mean? Sore fucking loser.
I know. And, it's a funny thing. We did get the Reigns spot last year, which was really cool too. Reigns breaking the all-time. We're still talking about last year's Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Reigns breaking Kane's record.
That was very big for them to give Reigns that. So you knew straight away, okay, this guy's getting some kind of fucking massive push. This
guy's building, and he still is. So we'll see how that happens. I know you watched a couple more Rumbles, and we'll talk about them before we get into some of our favorite moments of all time in other Rumbles. But go ahead. What's the next Rumble you got some notes on?
Still through the 89 Rumble, basically. Just there were some really good moments with the tag teams and stuff like that when Axe and Smash came down. They were there together and they just fucking went for it. They were really stupid, I noticed as well. And I think this was the first time it was noticed of the strategy of trying to get everyone gang up on the big guy to get the match. Yeah. And this became obviously the philosophy that was it evolved into the future Rumbles, basically. So this is why the first few Rumbles are really good to watch. It just lets you know how it started and how the WWF were learning about the main event itself as they moved on. Basically, and always good to hear great commentary as well, and seeing people like Perfect in the ring, who was, honestly, you want to see fucking Perfect, watch the 89 Rumble. He sells like a fucking pro.
Yes, he does. My problem with those early Rumbles, really with the first four, is that there was just nothing of significance happening. For the winner, Stud got nothing for winning it. I mean, granted, some of it, a push would have happened, I would think. Yeah. But he did have injury problems after that. He had health issues. And it was towards the end of his career anyway, but he was probably going to get a push within the company. I don't know how high he would have gotten. But really, up until 92, the Rumble was a good, fun little event, but it didn't mean anything. 92 and Ric Flair, woo! Made the Rumble an event. The 92 Rumble is what made the Rumble the Rumble.
Yeah. It just, up to that point, it seemed nothing more than to go, hey, look at all these rivalries we've got going on. It seemed nothing more than a reminder of who hated who a lot of the time. Yeah. But when I was watching the Axe and Smash in the ring on the 89 one, it gave me a really good idea of what they should do with Gold and Stardust. If you want to build up their rivalry, perhaps for Mania.
I think that's
have them start as 1 and 2 together and then have them fight in the ring, because they fought before in Rumbles, but to actually start them off 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think that's a really good possibility.
I don't think it's a possibility. I just thought it'd be a really good idea.
I think it's a possibility because I feel that match is coming. I feel the WrestleMania match is coming, and this is a perfect way to start that. So I think it's a good possibility of that happening.
I mean, when I saw Axe Smash in the ring, I was like, oh, God, I feel sorry for whoever's number 3. And it was fucking Andre the Giant. So I was like,
never mind. I don't feel too bad now.
Lots of best spots for that man in that match. That was for sure.
Yes. He was pretty much done at that point.
This was what I noticed about the first 2 Rumbles as well. The countdown clock was fucking all over the place.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it would start from 50 seconds and it'd start from 12 and then it'd start from 15 and then 8. And it was just kind of like, but the crowd weren't counting down.
Not like they do now.
Not like they do now. I think that was only till the 90 Rumble that was a thing, what everyone did. Otherwise, before that, the crowd were just looking. I don't think half of them were even looking down the aisle, because often they didn't really know what the fuck was going on, quite frankly. They just know these big guys just coming down and kicking the shit out of each other, which was fun, really. But, so I think it was later on that the whole countdown from the crowd...
I think that became a thing later on, absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect came down number 4. He didn't wear his Mr. Perfect attire, though. He was just and blue knee pads, which I thought was quite weird. I'd never seen him dressed in anything else.
No. I think that was to sell that the event was more special. It was a different event, and he had to handle himself accordingly.
Well, was he? But I mean, did he usually wear that attire at the time, though?
I want to say he did. I mean,
I just assumed. That this was maybe 1990 was when he maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
He spent a lot of time not wrestling, as I remember.
Yeah, I know, because he did commentary work.
Yeah,
For
dressed in a black suit and shit like that a lot of the time.
He also did some managerial work. He did some managerial work for Ric Flair. He hung out with Bobby Heenan a lot.
Must have been a lot very injury prone because maybe that's why he just didn't wrestle all that much.
Well, you got to also remember at the time of who was the big guys at the time.
Yeah.
Flair was not in the company. Perfect was a mid-carder at best. And some of the times he wasn't even that. It was unfortunate. And because it was still driven 89, 88, 90, it was still the company was still driven by these giants. Andre was still relevant. Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior was coming into his own. All these guys were. It was about them, and Mr. Perfect got kind of lost in the shuffle. He got more relevant in 91, 92, and 93 and stuff. Especially before and after Flair came into the company.
Yeah.
But he had some rough times there where he was still trying to pay his dues.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but his look was weird. I mean, his hair didn't look like Mr. Perfect hair. It looked like old, like Psycho Sid hair.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. Interesting fact as well. Andre was in that Rumble for 14 minutes and 55 seconds and eliminated 3, whereas Hogan was in there only for 11 minutes and 31 seconds and eliminated 9.
Wow.
People I've got all of these, Dave. Basically, I was loving all this note taking. By the way, I see why you like it.
Yeah, note taking is fun. It's a lot of fun.
It was, and it helped me learn a lot about the event as well. I think it
helps you pay attention. I think it's good to pay attention a little bit more. You definitely notice things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of fun. And then when you get to spout them off, they are a lot of fun, and it's interesting. Sometimes a little lengthy, though, but that's okay.
I enjoy it, so I didn't mind it. Rather, had I not been note taking, I probably would have just skipped through and missed a lot of the stuff I actually really enjoyed. So this was the first one that was a 30-man Rumble, and it was every 2 minutes. So I was always keen to find out were the longest-lasting ones in there. I always made a note of who they were, basically.
Are you going to continue to do this for the rest of the Rumbles, or no?
Till the end of time, do you think?
No, I mean, are you going to go through all the other Rumbles that have happened and take these type of notes on them?
It depends. If we're doing a video for them, then maybe, but probably not for my own amusement.
Do it for your own edification. Fuck it.
Yeah, I might do, just to know some interesting facts. I learned so much doing this. Again, Jake Roberts, big pop from the crowd on this one. I noticed that Greg the Hammer Valentine's hair was fucking awful. The crowd went down this time. We'll see what else we got on the 89. The girls, you can hear girls go fucking nuts when Shawn Michaels starts running down the ring for this one. This is when they were part of the Rockers, obviously. Yep. For me, he was the fucking man of the match for this Rumble.
You know what? He was that guy who got rewarded for all the work he put in. He eventually would get rewarded for it, but he always did well in Rumbles, even before he got real competitive. 92, 93, he had great Rumble performances.
Yeah.
Great Rumble performances.
I've not looked up the stat, but I would assume, it's a safe bet having watched the Rumbles that I have today, I reckon Shawn Michaels is probably the person who spent the most time in the Royal Rumble.
Shawn Michaels still is. I think that...
I don't know the stat, but I'm assuming he is.
No, he is, or at least he was. Maybe Kane may have surpassed him last year.
I doubt so. No.
I know he was really close last year.
Right,
he was really close to, because they talked about it. He was really close to surpassing Michaels in overall time last year, and I think he might surpass him this year. And I believe Shawn Michaels also might be up there as far as overall eliminations as well.
Well, I mean, in that, I don't want Kane taking that record. You need to leave that to Shawn, man. Because if Kane overtakes that, then bring Shawn back for another fucking Royal Rumble, man. Yeah. Because it's not fair. His performance in the 89 Rumble and subsequent other Rumbles, obviously, really good. In fact, here's another fact for you as well. Shawn Michaels was the first person to perform an off-the-top rope move in a Royal Rumble.
Wow. Oh, yes, right.
I think it was a double axe handle on someone or whatever it was, but having watched the 88 and 89, that was the first person I actually saw go onto the top rope. Because I remember Ben going, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life." Basically, commentary.
No, McMahon!
Oh, McMahon. And this I noticed the first time him doing his classic someone chucking him over the ropes and then him sort of pulling himself back up from the top rope and flipping himself back over, which is Shawn Michaels' patented thing to do in the Rumble, and I watched it in so many others.
The skin the cat move, absolutely.
Yeah, he must have done that tens of times in Rumbles. And another stat that I have not looked up, but I would assume is true, is that probably Shawn Michaels is the one who is the most almost eliminated guy in the Rumble ever as well, because the amount of times he's probably spent like a quarter of his time in the Rumble hanging over the fucking ropes.
I can confirm the most eliminations of all time is by Shawn Michaels, and it's 41.
Yeah.
So he's still it's pretty cool. And the overall time, longest total Royal Rumble time is,
I was going to say 4 or 5 hours, I was going to say.
Yeah, but you know what? We were both wrong. It's not Shawn Michaels anymore.
What?
Yep. Longest Royal Rumble time complete. It's Triple H. 3 hours, 51 minutes, and 32 seconds.
That I am surprised with.
That's surprising.
I would question that one.
Well, it's from WWE.com.
Well, I mean, fuck, but Shawn Michaels has been in way more Rumbles than Triple H.
But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, during those 5 years that Shawn was not in the Rumble, Triple H was highlighting, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, fair enough. That's a shame, though. But I think in my heart of hearts, it'll always be Shawn Michaels.
Shawn did 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Yeah. There's a good point where I saw Shawn and Mr. Perfect going for it in the ring. And I thought, I haven't seen many matches between them two before. That would have been interesting to see more Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels matches.
They did have a feud. They did have a feud.
I don't remember it being big. I just don't remember them being lots of really epic matches like he had with Bret Hart.
It was a little
like
bit
both
later.
of them.
It was over the Intercontinental title. But they did have a feud, and they had a really good moment on one of the first Raws where they got into a fight on a car outside of the arena. It's a very infamous moment because there's a lot of and people know this about Perfect and Shawn Michaels. They hated each other.
Right.
They fucking hated each other.
Right, okay.
Like legit.
That's a shame because I think that would have been. I think you could have got a few more epic battles out of those guys. Sure. It was a shame because I thought that those two, very much like Perfect and Bret, were good in the ring. I thought you would have got very much the same thing with those two as well. Interesting fact. Here comes an infamous moment now from the '89 Rumbles when Jake, after being eliminated, comes back to the ring with his fucking snake in the bag and throws it into the ring, and Andre is so scared that he eliminates his fucking self.
Yep. Huffman, I'm going to fucking kill you. You're writing me on Skype. I'm going to kill you, Huffman.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I noticed watching the old stuff, the crowd seems so into everything that the WWF was giving them. Like, everyone was getting either massively booed, massively cheered.
Did you also notice how many kids were in the crowd back then? Quite a fucking few.
Yeah, a lot.
Just obviously. Like it is now. Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, it was just odd to kind of see. I wasn't really used to more like, kind of crowd.
Everyone's a smart now. Everyone knows everything.
Exactly.
Enjoy your lives, you motherfuckers.
So the crowd fucking loved the Bushwhackers. Obviously, Bushwhackers for Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So Perfect lasted 27 minutes and 58 seconds in that match. Him and Shawn Michaels were my men of the match.
Are we still in the '89?
Yeah, we are. We can stop now.
Yeah, we got to move to another Rumble.
Go on forever, but let's skip ahead.
This is going to be a 4-hour show, and I don't have time for that.
Sure. Well, let me talk about one of my own personal favorites.
Yeah, let's start talking about favorite moments and stuff. Favorite Rumbles. Let's go ahead.
Now, because the '93 Rumble was the first pay-per-view I ever watched, so I was very excited about this one when I watched it. I remember as a kid, and you contrast this with WrestleMania 9. It's so weird. The first two entrants are there, and then this guy called Bob Backlund, I don't know who he is, doesn't have any music whatsoever, comes down the ring. The guy lasts 1 hour, 1 minute and 10 fucking seconds, smashed it over doubling the fucking record for anyone ever in the Rumble. He came down to the ring, no one fucking gave a shit. When he went out the ring, everyone in the fucking audience stood up and applauded that motherfucker. Yeah. Because that was one of the most memorable moments of my childhood, was that moment where he just looked around and people were fucking applauding him for what he'd done in that Rumble. And ever since then, I've had the biggest respect for Bob Backlund ever.
Yeah. I agree. '93 was an interesting year. I was a big fan of Bob Backlund. Even I loved when he went fucking crazy with the Bret Hart feud.
Yeah,
It's actually one of my favorite
brilliant.
feuds. But
Yeah,
93 special because the Yokozuna that was the beginning of Yokozuna's ridiculous rise to fame. It was really, really awesome stuff that he did with Savage in that. It was great. It was very awesome.
It was. There's some interesting stuff as well because there were some people that were meant to be in the Rumble that year but weren't because of a lot of disputes. Most notably Nails, who I think accused Vince of raping him. So he was due to go in there, as was Crush, but both were in dispute at the time and were dropped. So they weren't, as were Ultimate Warrior and Bulldog, who both failed, I think, drug tests.
Yeah. And
weren't allowed in the Rumble. And that was when Warrior had left the company.
That's right.
Yeah, so there you go. Because it was a very Hogan-less kind of era then.
Well, it didn't need to be. 93 holds the distinction of the first Royal Rumble to ever give a title shot to the winner. Because remember, 92 was actually for the belt, which makes it one of the most special to me. But 93 was the first to ever give a title shot at WrestleMania to the winner. And that's pretty special. It's a forgotten Royal Rumble, though. 93 is a forgotten year.
It is, because there were so many kind of last-minute switches. I think that the entrants weren't very good quality, except for because Warrior was kicked out, his replacement was Mr. Perfect, who was playing a face for the very first time going into this as well. So that made it kind of interesting, and Bulldog obviously had buggered off to WCW at this point. And they made a call to this guy called Carlos Colon.
Carlos Colon?
Yeah.
Seriously? How do you not... You don't know who Carlos Colon is?
I have no idea who this guy is.
He's the father of a pretty famous fucking star. People would say a very cool star. Somebody who spits in the face... People who spits in the face of others who are not cool. He's also the uncle or something of both Primo and Epico, who are now better known as Fernando and, I don't know, Venezuela of the Los Matadores. They're all part of the legendary Colon family. And the one thing you will hear about JBL every time they bring up the Colones is Carlos Colon still owes JBL $20.
Very good.
Yeah. He calls him a welcher quite often.
Yeah, I think Nails was supposed to be in this. He wasn't, because his gimmick was fucking awful. So they replaced him with someone whose gimmick was fucking brilliant, which was Damien Demento.
Damien Demento. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Never heard of again.
A lot of people really... And this Rumble also kind of is marked really the beginning of the end for Randy Savage in the WWE. A lot of people feel... that when he lost the Rumble, putting over Yokozuna, he didn't really like that. There goes the corned beef. You like that corned beef?
Yes.
You like all that meat in your mouth, don't you?
I do.
I got everybody in the world fucking write me on Skype right now, and I'm about to lose my mind.
You're a popular guy, don't worry about it.
No, fuck that shit. I'm a big fat guy. Leave me alone. Can I do a show?
Well, I think he lost a lot of favour with fans as well, because that ending to that match was just so like, ugh, really? You that fucking stupid Savage.
Yeah.
And plus it was so, ugh. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. It didn't look like it really should have got. Even as a kid, I remember being quite sceptical, going, oh, I know wrestling's fake, but at least make it look good. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like one of those moments. And there's a very funny moment from the 94 Rumble as well, which we'll go into at some point.
You know why, though, the 93 Rumble is forgotten as much as it is?
All jobbers.
Well, no, not as bad as the second Shawn Michaels victory in 96, but 93 also, it led into that terrible WrestleMania outdoors in Las Vegas with the fucking Hogan winning the belt after fucking Bret Hart gets the salt in his eyes and all that shit. Oh my God.
Right, because the 93 Rumble led on to WrestleMania 9, didn't it?
Yes.
Right. So then Backlund gave this fucking brilliant performance in the 93 Rumble, but was practically fucking booed at the building at WrestleMania 9. When he faced Razor Ramon, who was a heel at the time, and the crowd were loving Razor Ramon over him. I never got that. I always got really pissed off about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just one of those things, you know. And he held that fucking Backlund held that record for a long time, man.
Yeah,
He really
I've actually got the list here.
Yeah, he's still third.
He's very much third.
He's still third.
Yeah.
You know,
only just as well. Benoit only beat him by 20 seconds.
Yeah, and Mysterio just a little bit ahead of him.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how I feel about Mysterio being number one there. To be honest, I'd like someone else to. I'd like a Daniel Bryan to get.
I see somebody breaking that record, especially because Mysterio's being such an insufferable bastard right now, and being so difficult because he wants out or whatever. And even though the guy has not lived up to his contract, he's made a fucking lot of money for doing absolutely nothing in the past 4 or 5 fucking years. And he has the audacity to be difficult, make demands, and fucking want all of this shit. And then he's gonna He's gonna get released and then go to fucking Lucha? Go have fun with Alberto fucking Peltron or whatever his stupid name is over there. Fuck Del Rio. Fuck Mysterio. Fuck Lucha Underground too. All right, yeah, I feel better.
Pretty much. I think I could see that record being broken by someone like a Daniel Bryan.
Well, Daniel Bryan, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Daniel Bryan will be number one in the Rumble this year.
Yeah,
with everything that's going on.
Would that be a storyline with the Authority trying to fuck him over or something?
Yeah, obviously you have not been watching lately because they're very much teasing that. In fact, Daniel Bryan's spot in the Rumble is in doubt right now because he has to fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he has to fight Kane on SmackDown just to even get in.
How many more fights does he have to have with Kane? Jeez.
You know what, though? I don't mind it. I noted it on the SmackDown review. They worked a pretty damn good match before the interference. Kane can work well with Bryan. I think that's why they don't mind pairing. It's probably one of the only guys Kane can still have a really good match with. But they work well together. And it kind of restored my faith and maybe started to change my mind that if Bryan and Lesnar does happen, that maybe it wouldn't be as bad of a match as I think it's going to be. But we'll see. That's another discussion for another day.
So I just want to say the fourth guy who lasted over an hour was Triple H.
Yes.
1 minute and 9 seconds.
That's a third of his record-setting time right there. You know, there you go. I mean, fuck.
I'm still surprised. There's a really big spot in that Rumble as well where Perfect eliminated Flair by just pushing his palm on his chin and just forcing him over the ropes, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta write somebody to fuck off.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing with the '93 Rumble, there was a lot of entrances that were kind of like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah.
Type guys.
Not as bad as '96.
No.
'96 is known as the Jobber Royal Rumble, and it's unfortunate because it's one of my favorite endings.
Yeah, I mean I think that's a lot of the saving graces, especially with the '94 and '95. The saving graces, a lot of those Rumbles were kind of the endings of those matches.
Yeah.
So should we get on to '94? Because I know you wanted to talk about '94.
Let's talk a little bit about '94, and then we'll just get on to just overall favorite moments from all Rumbles.
Yeah.
Because this thing is going, boy. We're already.
I think it's good, but I think that's a testament to the Rumble itself, though.
You could talk about the Rumble for days. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
'94. I feel really there's only one thing to talk about when we talk about the '94 Rumble, and that's the ending.
Yeah.
Because it changed things.
That Owens promo when
go ahead, talk about Owens' promo.
It's brilliant. It was so good. It was going so well. He was giving the intensity, and then he just uttered those immortal words.
Go ahead, say it.
I kicked your leg out of your leg. Because you can see him sort of quiet down whilst he goes, I kicked your leg out of your leg, and he realised what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Owen.
Yeah, I do too.
Fuck it.
I love him. It's another Rumble that Shawn Michaels really had a good performance in.
Yeah.
You know, great performance. The ending is the one to talk about, though, because to this day, who actually won that Rumble?
Well, I went down in detail as to what happened at the end, like bit by bit, and it's quite funny to see what the fuck kind of happened.
Yeah.
Basically, let me get my notes on it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the two... wait with me. Right, here we go. So, So this is the reason why it was a very exciting end, because it was face versus face. And both were the biggest pushed guys in the company at the time, which were Brett and Lex Luger. Both gave pretty good performances in the Rumble, I think, up to this point as well. The crowd go crazy because they're like, this is like an Ultimate Warrior sort of Hogan Part 2 type thing for our generation. But, you know, I think the crowd they were way more Brett oriented.
Yeah. I don't think...
Go on, sorry.
I think Luger was still having a hard time getting over with some people.
It felt forced. I think this was the difference.
Because they tried to create another Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. And whereas Brett was so organically over with people, and Luger was just, you knew he was, even as a kid, I knew something wasn't quite right here, that they were just forcing this a little too much.
I agree.
I could even sense that as a child, that I'm not buying this.
Sure.
Basically. So both grapple each other at the same time. I'm surprised they didn't go at it for longer and then do this spot, but this spot almost happened instantaneously. Yeah. So they both sort of grab hold of each other, they go towards the ropes, and they both kind of like flip over at the same time, and there's no camera angle to show whose feet touch first. I imagine someone's feet touch first, and I'd like to ask the people who were sitting right there in the audience who... Because there's got to be out there somewhere on the internet the people that were sat there at the time.
And then they got one ref coming in raising one hand, and you got the other ref raising the other hand. Both the theme songs playing. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And did we actually get a little bit of an appearance from Jack Tunney?
Yes.
Maybe one of the last times we get an appearance from Jack.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember seeing him at this point. Afterwards.
I believe he dies shortly after. Maybe just a few years later.
Well, I'm not surprised after that decision.
I know. Tunney was horrible.
Who was Tunney? What the fuck was he? Was he an actor? What was he?
I have no idea. He was the president of World Wrestling Federation.
But he wasn't. No, that
whatever
was
the fuck that means.
Yeah. You know, was he like the fucking T-boy that they just hired to play the fucking president?
Jack Tunney was Vince McMahon's grandfather. I have no idea. I don't know.
Whatever. But there was great funny spots of like Howard Finkel in the ring, and he, you know. The winner of the Royal Rumble.
Of the Royal Rumble match.
Royal Rumble
match.
Where he just looks to Jack and he goes, what the fuck do I say now? You know. And then he goes, the winners of the Royal... And then the crowd, you could tell the crowd did not like this.
No.
At all. They wanted a definitive winner. This really, although it worked out at WrestleMania 10, I guess.
It did. It did.
It should have continued. And I think today it would continue. No way would they allow a draw now.
Absolutely. I mean, hell, they've had to do it where two guys were eliminated like that later on. This was actually the time when Vince McMahon came down and blew out his fucking quad when he tried to run and dive into the ring and restarted the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because two guys were eliminated at the same time, and he blew his fucking quads and made the decision while sitting on his ass on the fucking mat. It was hilarious.
Vince's commentary during this Rumble as well was fucking awful. I'm so glad he doesn't do commentary anymore.
You know what? At times I really enjoyed Vince. It really depended on who he was partner with.
There was a bit where he almost called like Marty Jannetty the 1-2-3 kid, and it's just kind of you fucking retard. But because weirdly enough, actually Ted DiBiase was on commentary with him for this one. And there was some good back and forth, and I like Ted DiBiase on commentary.
Sure.
You know, there was a bit during when it was the final two of those, and we were trying to decide who won between Brett and Luger, where, you know, Vince was going, it's Luger won, and Ted's like, I think it's Brett. As much as I don't like Brett and I'm not invested, it's Bret Hart. And I got pissed off with Vince for saying it was Luger for some reason. I just hated him for that. I didn't like anyone who was trying to get over on Bret Hart.
Oh my God! So you Mark, you fucking.
Yeah, of course. But I'm talking as a child when I watched this.
Sure. You're still.
I can, you know.
You're still a Mark.
Oh, for Bret, always, mate, always. So the crowd start booing this decision. Basically, the guys kind of shake hands at the end,
it was bullshit.
And then the rest is history at WrestleMania 10. You know, otherwise we wouldn't have had those two matches.
Yeah, I gotta give a little bit of credit to Yokozuna while we're talking about WrestleMania 10 and Yokozuna winning the previous Rumble. He does not get enough credit for the athlete and wrestler that he was. You know,
very much. I mean, I put him and Bigelow very much in the same category. Big guys
He couldn't move as well as Bigelow, but
but
he moved well. He moved very
well. For big
well.
guys, I actually
Yeah, Bigelow was 350 pounds, near 400 pounds, but fucking Yokozuna was damn near 6.
I think it was
535 or some shit like that.
I think Bigelow lasted like 30 minutes in the 94 Rumble. Because I noticed that some of the statistics, only like 17 of them lasted under 10 minutes.
Sure.
Some of them were 5. Diesel, I think, lasted. He eliminated
Diesel
like 7.
had a huge Rumble that year.
Yeah, let me get the stats on Diesel for that because that's really interesting.
Yeah, he had a huge Rumble.
Yeah, it took like nearly 7 people to eliminate the guy.
Yeah.
And there was a bit where Mabel came in, who I want to say looked like Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man had walked into a Cadbury's factory, ate all the fucking chocolate, and then dressed himself in the wrappers. That's what Mabel looked like.
Before everybody came and took him out, he eliminated 7 guys.
Yeah. He could. I don't remember a Rumble like it where it was just always him left in the ring. Anytime someone would come down the aisle, that he would get them out basically. And it was so nice as well when Mabel came down and all the crowd going, "Whoop! There it is!"
Yeah,
it was like, oh, fucking 90s.
Terrible.
It's so funny. And it took 7 people to eliminate
7
Mabel.
people.
Valentine, Tatanka, Kabuki, Crush, Bigelow, Plug, and Michaels.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So it was just Sparky Plug who actually lasted.
Spark Plug Holly, oh my god.
Yeah, who lasted actually 21 minutes and 33 seconds. He was taking the place of the 1-2-3 kid.
Yeah.
And he eliminated 3, so it was actually a pretty good performance from him in that Rumble, to be fair. Shawn Michaels lasted 29 minutes in that.
Great performance out of the Heartbreak Kid.
Diesel, actually, I remember there was a really good moment in that Rumble when Diesel finally got eliminated. The fucking crowd applauded him, even though he was a heel.
Yeah.
The crowd were chanting Diesel, and they were applauding him after his performance.
Most crowds appreciate that shit.
Exactly, and I remember that as a kid as well. Like, whether a face or a heel, if you give a good performance in the Royal Rumble, you've got my respect.
Sure.
Simple as that, you know. So it's one of those. It was a bit of an odd Rumble. Like, this is what makes Rumble apart from any other event. You will see face versus face, heel versus heel, and stuff like that. There's a bit where Tatanka had just come into the ring. He drew number 21, and Mabel, who was a face at the time, held Tatanka, who was a face, whilst Shawn Michaels, a heel, unloaded on Tatanka. And it was just kind of like, whoa, what in universe am I in right now?
Well, it really marked the beginning. You know, the Royal Rumble had this every man for himself mentality, and the longer it went on, the more we got to see it. 94 was a prime example of that. I agree.
There's a really funny moment when I think Tatanka ducked and Shawn hit Mabel in the face. And then Vince on the commentary goes, uh-oh, Shawn hit Mabel. Mabel's going to remember that. And I remember as a kid just thinking, yeah, but I'm sure this is wrestling. I'm sure he understands these things happen.
Yeah, they're all sensible men,
he
yes. These are sensible human beings, obviously.
These things happen in wrestling, lol.
Sure.
Lots of who the fuck are they? Kabuki.
Yeah, there was.
Who the fuck's that?
I know.
Basically. There's a really funny bit where they're trying to eliminate Mabel, but he slumped so awkwardly over the ropes. They've got 7 people trying to eliminate him that they're not going to be able to do it because he's in an awkward position. So what he does, he grabs Kabuki's head as leverage to pull himself up so they can eliminate him better. But Vince on the commentary going, he's trying to get out of it. No, he's trying to help them fucking lift his fat ass out the ring. So anyone's there, go back and watch these old Rumbles. They're worth it. There's lots of fucking Easter eggs and gems in there. But
there is.
Let's carry on. Let's get onto what you want to get onto now.
Yeah, there's a lot of... we could talk about the Rumble for days. I mean,
really could.
There's so many things to talk about each individual Rumble. And I'm sorry that we don't have 3-4 hours to go through everything that you have. Because I know you worked hard on it, and I do appreciate it.
No, it was fun. It was all fun. It was my pleasure completely.
But, you know, I just kind of want to go through the eras, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite Rumble moments. And then we'll get up out of here shortly after that. We talked about the first 4 Rumbles. You know, we had Hacksaw, then Big John Studd. Then it became the Hulk Hogan show for 2 years. He won it 90 and 91. Who really gives a shit, though? I mean, you got nothing for it. It was just kind of the showcase.
Not me.
It was. And then 92 is when things got real. You know, Ric Flair winning that Rumble, starting number 2, by the way. Or no, he started a little bit later.
No. He was number 1. He was number 1 in '93.
Yeah, that's right. He started a little bit later in 92, but still winning that damn thing was impressive as hell. And one of the reasons why he's one of my all-time favorites. I love Ric Flair. And that Rumble was one of the reasons for it. It kind of opened my eyes to who Ric Flair was.
That's cool. I mean, I just missed the whole Ric Flair thing, having come in 1993, so I knew of Ric Flair, obviously, but never really saw him in his prime as a kid. I've seen him in loads of matches since, obviously, looking back, but I was never, as a kid, watching him at his prime, which I feel kind of sorry for myself for.
Yeah,
I feel like I really missed out. Yeah,
you missed
out.
I
can see that, but I can certainly appreciate him now, though.
Yeah, I still go back and watch Ric Flair matches when I just want some of the best wrestling I'll ever see, you know? One of my favorite eliminations, I brought it up earlier, I kind of want to talk about it real quick. There was I wish I can remember the which Rumble it was, but it was Taka Michinoku. Maybe you know the elimination I'm talking about. He gets thrown over the top rope, and he lands on his goddamn face.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Lawler kept asking the control truck to play it over and over again. And it was the same year that Hyantai kept on, or Kyantai, whatever the name was, kept re-entering the Rumble and kept getting re-eliminated. I believe Too Cool eliminates him at one point.
Yeah.
And Taka lands on his face so fucking hard, and I just remember Lawler laughing so fucking.
What a nice guy!
It was so funny. It's such a ridiculous moment. It had to be like 99 or 98 or 2000, something.
I'll probably watch that in a bit.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I think a really good one as well. Mick Foley coming down in all his personas.
Oh yeah, the Three Faces of Foley Rumble. That's a great one. That's a great one.
Because that's just not done. It was so out there, and that's what you would expect from a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And it's funny how you mentioned Tasha Michinoku, because they're my odds-on favourite for a legend return this year at Rumble. Kai and Tai, this year's Rumble.
You want Kai and Tai to return?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they'll get the biggest pop of the fucking night.
Are you insane?
No, they're fucking awesome.
No,
they're like the Bushwhackers of
Kai
like
and
late
Tai
year.
comes out, they are barely going to get any recognition. It will not be a big pop.
When that music comes in, indeed.
No.
You telling me a crowd won't be like, oh, fucking fair dues?
You know what? If many people remember who they are, I'd be surprised. Kung Fu Funaki would get more fucking pop if he came out on his own. He doesn't need the rest of Kai and Tai.
I just like Kai and Tai. I just like to see him back. That's all.
I don't know why, but hey, more power to you, brother.
Who do you see as a legend or old ones coming back this year?
Oh God, I've been asked the question. I haven't really put a lot of thought into it yet.
No, have I? It just came at the top of my head.
But I do have a couple guys that I think there's a possibility for. And I believe we'll see at least one of them, if not both of them, on Monday Night Raw tonight.
So, keeping that close to your chest.
Oh, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'll say it right now.
Okay.
I believe there's a possibility.
Stone Cold.
No. We're going to get a Scott Hall sighting inside the Royal Rumble this year. I also think Jake Roberts is a good possibility. Because, frankly, for Roberts and maybe even for Hall, this is the last opportunity. And the fact that Scott Hall it will be on Raw this week.
Any kind of shape?
He is in much better condition. He had his
Did DDP get a hold of him?
Yeah, he did.
Good.
He got his hip surgery. He's in much better condition now. And he's talked about doing some kind of spot. I could see it happening.
Will he come down to Scott Hall or Razor Ramon?
Razor Ramon, because that's how he went.
I'd love to see Razor Ramon again.
It's how he went to the Hall of Fame. And if you remember a few years ago, in one of the greatest returns ever, in one of the greatest spots of a return, when Kevin Nash returned, he returned as Diesel. And the truck came, the truck noise, and people lost their fucking mind. When they heard that truck start up, people lost their fucking minds. It was great. That was the same year Booker T made his return, which was incredible.
Is that the one where he did the spinneroonie?
He did. Because what was special about that is nobody saw either of them coming back. They were just coming off of TNA stints. Nobody saw them coming back at the time, especially Booker T. And it was just really cool. It was just really, really cool. I believe there was another surprise entrant that year, too, and I can't remember. It's eluding me right now. But that was a lot of fun. That was a few years back. That was great.
Sorry, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you see any next guys coming in this Rumble?
Oh, some NXT guys.
Yeah.
I do see a possibility.
I keep saying next. NXT.
I know you do. It's NXT.
So correct me.
I think Adrian Neville is a likely guy to make his debut.
He will get a massive pop if he comes down.
I think he would.
Or Sami Zayn, you know what I mean?
Don't think
See those two.
The reason why I don't see Sami Zayn making an appearance is because he's nowhere close to coming up yet. Because now he's in
the champ, though, isn't he?
He is, and he's in this brand new feud with Kevin Owens. So I don't see Kevin Owens coming up either. I think the most likely guy is Adrian Neville.
Yeah.
I think that he makes the most sense, and I would love to see him. I'd like to
see Bo Dallas in there somewhere.
I'm not sure if he's ready to come back yet.
Was he injured, is he?
Yeah, he's injured.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. All right, okay.
I really don't
It's a
care.
shame.
Honestly, I don't care if I ever see him on TV again.
What?
He sucks.
No, he fucking doesn't.
He's got no
What are you talking
charisma.
about?
He's not as good in the ring as his brother.
What?
Yes, I'm sorry. He's stale as fucking day old bread, man. He's stale.
Fucking kidding me?
You're gonna pay me again. This is fucking copyright infringement. My God, gimmick infringement, motherfucker.
You like that?
I'm gonna kill you. No, tell me, what have you seen out of Bo Dallas that makes you fucking go crazy for Bo Dallas?
That bit.
His little running bulldog.
Bad news. I thought it was brilliant when he
eliminated him. That was the most interesting thing he's done.
He could do more. You got to get these young dude.
Oh, fuck that. You either make an impact or you become a fucking memory. And guess what?
Your problem is you don't believe.
I don't believe. You're right. And you know why? Because I know what that bloodline can produce. It can produce an IRS or it can produce a Bray Wyatt. And guess where Bo Dallas falls? He falls in the IRS category. He's a footnote.
What the fuck's wrong with IRS?
He's a... You want to put IRS in the top 20 wrestlers of all time? Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Time, but I think he was shit.
He wasn't shit, but I mean...
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying... No, I'm saying...
You're saying either you get an IRS who's shit, or you get
What I'm saying is there's a clear distinction between IRS and his son, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's done more in the WWE in fucking 2 years than IRS did in his entire career. He's made more of an impact, more of a mark, more of a statement than IRS ever did.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Then what are we talking about?
You saying that IRS was the shit.
I didn't say he was shit.
Well, it sounded like it, Dave. If you go back,
what I'm saying is that I know what I said was that family produces two different types of fucking bloodlines so far, and I see IRS at one end of the spectrum and Bray Wyatt in the other, and I just feel that Bo Dallas falls much more closely to the IRS standard. And that's where I feel his career is going to be. Could it turn around? Absolutely. But Vince doesn't like small guys, and unless they're going to do something and put the two brothers together, which is my suggestion, then I don't see how. I just don't see how. There are so many more talented wrestlers right now within the WWE who are not getting fucking utilized. If they bring Bo Dallas, who cannot get over, who cannot have these lengthy matches, who does not seem to be able to really fucking hold anyone's attention other than saying, believe.
A bit of a lame.
It's very lame. And they tried to have JBL sell that gimmick so hard. My God. JBL tried to sell that gimmick so hard, I almost called him Dolph Ziggler. You know, it was insane.
He sold like Mr. Perfect.
Oh my God, for Rizzle. Another one of my favorite moments, and it's the '96 Rumble.
Carry on, let me get a shirt. I'm cold.
Well, you shouldn't have took it off, Dick.
I went in the moment, man.
You just went with it, and you're really dark in your room right now.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's not good for me. It's not good TV, mate.
It is. You can still see me. It'd be fine.
God. Yeah, only because you're glowing right now because you're so pasty.
Yeah.
The '96 Rumble. Jake the Snake Roberts making his return and unleashing the new monster-sized Damien inside of the ring. And not only unleashing him, but putting him on top of Jerry Lawler. One of my favorite moments in Rumble history.
That was very good.
It's a good
one. That was very good.
It's a great one. You got any more Rumble memories you want to talk about?
Probably, but I can't think of them right now.
I think we've hit it pretty good. I think we've talked about a lot of great Rumble moments. More is coming. You and I can do another video this week. I have no problem with that. If you want to focus on a specific Royal Rumble, we can do a show on that. If there's a Royal Rumble that you guys want us to talk about this week, go ahead and put it in the comment section below.
We'll watch it. We'll go through it.
Watch it. We'll go through it. We will take copious amounts of notes, and we will do a full review on that Rumble this week. Whatever one is the most popular, down in the comment section below, that's the one we will do. I think that sounds fair. So make sure, as always, you share, you comment, you subscribe, you do everything that you're supposed to do to help support the channel. I want to give a very big thank you to my friend, who's actually this way, Ed Crowley. Once again, magnificent as always. I appreciate you. Now you have a light. That's great. I appreciate you joining me, my friend. A lot of fun as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is where you reciprocate, you bastard.
So I was thinking, should I do like a Bray Wyatt thing, like, we're here.
Run.
Oh,
you know, quick question before we get out of here.
sure.
The thought is starting to occur to me that Bray Wyatt might actually have a chance of winning the Rumble. What do you think of that?
Final two.
Final two.
Brian, Wyatt.
Oh, so you have Bryan winning this Rumble.
Yeah.
You have him winning over Reigns.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you Reigns win?
No, I think it's Bryan as well. But
What are you questioning?
It's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a serious journalist. God damn it!
But you said it as if like really?
Oh no, because I'm trying to get a discussion going. You fucking.
Okay, no, that's fair. No, it's Brian's time yet again. But I find it interesting how you Rollins is walking out with the title though.
I think I'm becoming more and more convinced of it. It makes sense.
Really? I just don't see him doing it. He's got the money in the bank, so.
And that's what makes it intriguing. I think he's gonna. Well, that's the thing. In my scenario, he's not gonna have that money in the bank anymore because they're gonna have this match. Undertaker is going to reemerge, cost Brock Lesnar the title. He's gonna interfere. He's gonna take Brock Lesnar completely out of the match. John Cena will get the victory over fucking Seth Rollins, become a 16-time WWE champion. And then Lesnar's going to realize what happened, go fucking apeshit, come back in the ring, lay out Cena, or somebody like Rusev, who Cena will be feuding with at WrestleMania, will come and destroy Cena. And then Rollins will go over to the ref and cash in his briefcase and walk out of the Royal Rumble as the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And go on to headline with probably a mixture of Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, but also just a possibility of a one-on-one matchup with Daniel Bryan, which could go down as the greatest main event in WrestleMania history.
Possibly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Where does Sting come in all this then?
Sting is going to have nothing to do with any of that. He might be the one to get involved as well. That's a possibility. But Sting is facing Triple H. Or
he's going to be at the Rumble, though.
Sting will be at the Rumble, but I also think Sting will be tonight as well. I think because they're not going to want to reintroduce the three guys, Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback at the Rumble. They're going to want to reintroduce them tonight, and I think the only way to reintroduce them is to have them come out in Sting paint and full Sting garb, and then Sting following them out or leading them out, and him having some kind of power by the board of directors or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like a very similar storyline he did with TNA, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but it works.
What about Orton? Is he coming back soon?
I see Orton either re-emerging tonight or as an alternate to my theory, he could also cost Rollins the match at WrestleMania or at Rumble, and then they feud going into WrestleMania. But if that happens, then we're talking about a completely different card, and I'm probably going to be disappointed. Because that probably means we're going to get Bray Wyatt and Undertaker. That means we're probably going to get Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And none of that seems appealing to me.
No. I personally see Lesnar winning the match at Rumble.
And you know what? It could very well happen. It could very well happen. That's what.
It's not very well about it. That's what is going to happen.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be too sure about that because there is more and more back news talk about Undertaker Lesnar too, and there's no way that match is happening with the title on the line. Because, and I explained why the other day, it absolutely makes no sense to combine two huge things like that and take away spots from everybody else. If Undertaker Brock Lesnar 2 happens, which I really firmly believe it's going to, you can't have the title because then you're taking away spots from everybody.
True.
I mean, if you make that match happen, then essentially you just took spots from 4 guys. And what are you going to do with Bryan? What are you going to do with Reigns? What are you going to do with Rollins? What are you going to do with Ziggler? What are you going to do with Ambrose? I mean, it's all of these things. There's so many questions. They could go with Wyatt and Undertaker. That's still a possibility of that happening. That's why I argue with you so much, though, about how you and Jesse and a few other guys just want to hate on the product. Right now, there is so much intrigue. We have no idea what's going to happen going into this Rumble. There is so many things that are just like up in the air. Like
I just think they should just get it done with it and finally just go, right, here's the match to decide who wins all the wrestling ever. Who's the wrestler of all time? Just have that match and have done with the whole thing so we can all move on.
So you don't want to watch wrestling no more?
Just fucking
No, you can't make a statement like that and then fucking backpedal, because that's serious talk. And dead on Dave production land, buddy.
You jamoke.
My shirt's about to get ripped off again.
Brony.
But I don't have this one pre-cut, so it'd be much harder to rip.
Oh, pre-cut, eh?
I pre-cut that shirt.
I didn't pre-cut mine, Dave.
You took it off. You just slipped it over your massive cranium.
Anyway, good chatting, Dave.
Yeah, it was a good show. I appreciate you joining me today. And
about this, maybe we should chat more about the Rumble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that'd be really, really cool. Hopefully, if they come up with some really good suggestions, write down what are your favourite moments. That'd be really cool, because I'll definitely read them, because I think it's very interesting, Jake. So I'll be reading through a lot of them.
Yeah, I think we got some of the best commentators in the wrestling community. Commenters, you guys that comment down below, man, you guys are awesome. You're always there. You're very supportive, and I appreciate it. And if you look on other sites, other wrestling sites, they simply don't have the same volume of guys that we do. And I really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. So thank you guys for supporting as always. Crowley, you're a weird motherfucker, but I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for arguing. You're making my life a little bit more interesting.
No problem.
Other than that, this is Dead on Dave Productions. This was your daily focus. No, it was not your daily focus. This was a special bonus video, and I hope you appreciate it. That's Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm a big fat fuck on the couch, and we're out of here. See you next time. Peace.